Welcome back to the Capes and Tights podcast right here on capesandtights.com. I'm your host, Justin Soderberg. Once again, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Galactic Comics and Collectibles at galacticcomicsandcollectibles.com. Funny enough, proprietor and owner of Galactic Comics and Collectibles joins us once more to chat a movie review, not a new movie review, an old movie review. This movie is nearly 20 years old. We talked Spawn from 1997, based on the comic book created by Todd McFarlane that was first introduced in 1992 at Image Comics. It's an elite mercenary is killed but comes back from hell as reluctant soldier of the devil. It's based on the comics. Kind of, there's some things and you'll hear it. But before you listen, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, all those places. You can rate, review, subscribe over on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. And as always, you can check out youtube.com and more over at capesandtights.com. There's a horror week section we just released, so check that out. But before you do check that out, listen to this episode. Spawn from 1997, discussed by Paul Eaton of Galactic Comics and Collectibles and myself. Enjoy, everyone. Surprise! We press record.
Hey!
Welcome to the podcast, Paul. It's been a month, I think, a little over a month. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that, right?
It's been a hot second.
What did we talk? Banned books last time?
Yeah, and but we did it a little early, so there's that, and then it was at the beginning of the month, and it's been a little while since we've done a movie. So if you think it was Jaws,
it has been.
It was Jaws for episode 243,
right.
And this is actually episode 254. So it's been 11 episodes. This is the 11th episode.
Whoa!
Wait, we had horror week in between.
That's a Paul drought right there.
Exactly. And then we had fans clamoring for it. That's what it was. That was just it was just Lance, but that's different. You know?
Yeah, Lance is like, hey, wait a minute.
Screaming on top of a mountaintop, I want this back. Give me back. And this is one we've actually been talking about doing for a while here on the podcast because
talking about it.
The funny thing about it is that I want to talk about this, but I don't because as my supplier of comic book related material is my dealer. I'm trying not to say that. The world is listening to me. My phone now. The FBI is going to come butching on my banging on my door. Is that I have an affinity for Spawn. I have affinity, but I have my own feelings too. And I have a hope that this is episode 254 or something like that. That like at episode 500, Todd McFarlane wants to come on the podcast, but I'm not holding out hope. If that makes any sense, so I'm not going to reserve my 100% feelings.
You know what? He's going to be lucky if you got room by 500 for him.
But listen, sorry,
Todd, you should have gotten in here sooner.
My love for Spawn is fantastic plot, storylines, world building, unbelievable artwork in the comic book. Beautiful artwork in the comic book. And it's not just been Todd. Over the years, they've had other artists who have been amazing at drawing Spawn.
Yeah, there's always a touch, but I feel like they're always very careful at making sure that it's not drastically different or anything.
It's not Scotty doing interiors
little extras. Yeah.
It's Sismon Kradonsky. It's your Sean Alexander. What's his name? I'm gonna screw this up. This is really bad. But over the years, we've had amazing artists that have done it well. I do not like the scripting, and this is in Spider-Man. This is in anything that he's ever done of Todd McFarlane. I think that it's just a skill that maybe he doesn't fully have, and if that's okay, he doesn't have to do it. He has other people who can do it for him now. Like create the world, create the idea behind the comic,
do some
let
art,
someone else do
throw
the
some pencil work in there, and let somebody else.
You don't have to do that anymore. It's the whole. I mean, I like Robert Kirkman's writing, but like Robert doesn't have to do that anymore either. Kirkman does not have to do that anymore. Tynion technically doesn't have to do that anymore, and he doesn't for some of the things. The oddly pedestrian life of Christopher Chaos is created by him, but Tate Bromwell writes it, and so there is this. You don't need to do that anymore. In House of Slaughter, his ideas, someone else writes that. So Todd McFarlane, you don't have to write Spawn anymore, which is fine. So I have this affinity for Spawn. I mean, I've got my slab number 1 right here. We've got I'll pull it up in a little bit because I have a conversation about it, but Spawn, the VHS of season 1 of the HBO TV show with some artwork on it by our buddy Bob Takic. I've got Bob's Spawn illustration on the cover of Spawn 300. I have multiple characters behind me that I didn't really pull up, but I do have a clown and a Violator.
There we go.
Different characters. So like, there's a love for Spawn here. So with that
Yeah,
being
I've
said,
got
that big
Spawn. Like
preface.
I've got Spawn statue in my
See,
office. I've got my Spawn #1 slab. Like
I've got
Yep,
a
I
collection.
get
I've
it.
got most of up to issues 180 or something like that. There's a gap in there, and then obviously from
Ooh,
that
the
point
famous
on,
Spawn gap
yeah.
of comics. Yeah, super
So
hard to find stuff.
the apprehension to review this movie has been the movie sucks. And so it's one of those things that you don't want to
Just
have
get
to
right to the
talk
point.
about something where you have to shit on it. But here's the deal.
Let's just get right to the point. This movie sucks.
Deep down, Todd McFarlane knows that too, right? I mean, like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I would. I think. I would
Deep
think
down, he
so. Like
may not be screaming it from a
Michael J.
mountaintop,
White
but
is like,
he's
no, no. There's nowhere on any record of me saying I like this movie.
yeah. See,
Like,
and
and
so
he
there's
is
that.
Spawn in it.
And so that's where the holdback of us always wanting to do this. Like, there's some other movies where I'm just like, oh, that's cool. We should do it sometime. Let's get to it. This has been one of those ones where I'm like, I want to do it, but I don't. And said, you know what? We're kind of still in that spooky season with this release. You know,
Yep.
that the end of September to middle of October, or sorry, middle of November, we're still in that horror thing. And I thought, hey, this is a time to do it. Let's get it over with, and we'll
Oh,
talk
wait, I
Spawn.
think this movie, like watching it again, it does capture some of the horror
Yes.
aspects. Like it gets some horror in there. Which is a big part of Spawn. I think a major part of Spawn when it starts in the comics is it's a superhero story. And then like as they write, they realize like really we've created a horror with superhero aspects. And that's where Spawn like is captured and
Rise.
taken.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's where you want like that's that sweet spot. And this movie like does have some of that horror stuff in it. Like Clown eating the maggot covered
Yeah.
pizza
Oh yeah.
and like some
Yeah.
of the comedies. Clown's really, honestly, really good. It's the only reason for anyone to watch this movie.
So, and that's funny about it is that Clown is different, a slightly different version of Clown in this
Yeah,
movie than he is in the comic book. But I honestly somewhat like that's one of the things where I'm like, I actually like that and I prefer that because John Leguizamo is phenomenal as the Clown, in my opinion, because he
oh
has
my god,
that.
he's so good.
It's so good. He's entertaining, and the Clown
Yep,
practical effects are
yep,
phenomenal. Like the
are
actual
really
clown,
good. Yep,
like Clown. This is the Clown, like from the movie. But so like it is
yep,
that Clown, but that is the Clown that you like. That's just so it's so creepy, and the fact that he dresses up as a different clown to go to Wanda's
yeah.
house
Oh my
and be
god,
there
who
is
the hell hired
hilarious.
him for this birthday party for children?
And
What
the
did
idea
you
that he
did you
just
must
dressed, he's
just
not
call
dressed
the
up.
service or
He's
something?
not dressed up as that clown. He's dressed up as like a different clown, a clown dressed up
Right,
as a clown, which is kind of
he
like
looks like a
meta.
traditional clown.
Yeah, but I mean, the movie is based off of the comic book from Todd McFarlane from 1992, one of the inaugural Image Comics releases. It was the beginning of Image Comics.
Yeah,
This is Todd McFarlane's, part of this release. And it's always funny to think about like how quickly this was adapted. Which, let's be honest, like it's right around like Something's Killing the Children when that hits the shelves or hit the
yeah.
theaters or
Five
whatever.
years time.
5 years. It's gonna
Like,
be like that time. And
yeah,
like it's not crazy. I mean, and Turtles were not that far off either. Like when the Turtles got their first movie, the first
right.
Turtles movie was far better than this adaptation of the original
Yeah,
material.
100%. Yeah.
But it came out in
I
August of '97, and the first issue of Spawn hit in 1992. So it was 5 years.
I didn't see this movie in theaters, but I bought the VHS release as soon as it like came out.
That was one of my
Um,
questions going to be for you. Is like, when do you remember? Not exactly, because this is not one of those films. You're like, I remember I was sitting on my couch and I was eating buttered popcorn,
yeah,
and do you remember? So it was on VHS that you watched it. You didn't go to the theaters to see it. I was
yeah,
11. You
yeah. I
were
got a VHS. I didn't go to theaters for it. I don't really know why I didn't. Because I was I was in getting into Spawn around this time.
mhm.
Um, like I want to say I watched this and I started watching the HBO series right around each other. Um, but this, I don't know. This movie, I think the first foremost problem with this movie,
Mhm.
if we're gonna start right off the bat, is that it does like the technology was not there to make this movie when they made it.
Correct.
The
Well,
CGI looks awful, and there's tons of it, like so much of it. Like Mal Bolger, the devil himself, is just all CGI.
the
Anytime they're
hell.
going to hell, looks very corny.
It looks
Um,
like you're standing in front of a CGI green screen, like at a some sort of festival, and they're like, "Look, we can make it look like there's fire behind you," and then they do that,
yeah,
and
and
then
you're
you're like, "Oh, look at this! This
yeah,
is
and even
cool."
I think even in today's technology, it would look better than this. Like just
It's
doing
so
that.
drastically different. That's the other thing. Is like you watch some bad movies, like some really bad movies, and it's just like bad the whole time. Like there's bad things that happen. And honestly, I love Star Wars, but there's moments in Star Wars watching it in 2025 compared to the 1970s and 80s. You get that you see the blasts from things. You're like, oh my god, that's so like you just see it from the beginning that there's like a level of special effects.
Though.
Yeah, but there's a level of special effects to the whole thing that you're like, the whole thing is like this. But the problem with Spawn, in my opinion, is like the movie itself. There's like touches of special effects here and there, like CGI, and then all of a sudden, I know they go to hell, and like Mel Boja shows up, and you're like, oh my god, it's like they finished the movie and they like didn't have any budget left, so they just like
you're playing a PlayStation video game.
Which the horrible thing about this,
PlayStation 1 graphics.
Yes, exactly.
In this movie,
it's not even like
it's not even like looks so bad in the movie.
It's not even the cutscene. The cutscenes, which are much better than the actual special effects in the in the game. This is like the game. Like when you see like actual footage when they show a video game trailer, and it's really like cutscenes and things like that. Like this is not even that. This is like if you're walking in a game and the special effects were around you. That's what this is like.
The old like original 3D attempts.
Yes.
When you put the stuff on your face to watch, and you're like, so real.
Look what I could do with a computer.
I think first and foremost, that's problem numero uno.
Yes.
With Spawn.
Well, it's a. So what do you think? Do you think this is a? So Todd is an individual. Like he's a unique individual who has had his fingers in a bunch of different things, and he's made his money off of not just comics. He's made his money off of the toy line. You're a sports fan. I'm a sports fan. Like he has these action figure style
action
statues.
Figures to sports are awesome.
Oh my gosh, he does this whole thing with basketball, baseball, all the different ones. Football. He has hockey. He has all these different like statues and figurines and things like that he's created with his McFarlane toy line. He has obviously Spawn. These other things that have come out since he did Spider-Man, like we talked about before, so on and so forth. Do you think his ego was one of the reasons why we need to make this now and need to make it the way it is? Because I say that, and I say that respectfully, not like you're a horrible person. Because there's times when people talked about there's a reason why X movie wasn't made when it was made. There's a reason why we have this resurgence and this big boom of Marvel and DC movies coming out from 2008
and I think,
to now.
I think
and not
it could
before
be
that.
like he was trying to put the cart ahead of the horse of like, I want to get this on the screen. I want to be the first, like, because this was really like one of the first independent comic.
It's also one of the first major black superhero movies.
Well, yeah, it's the first like black superhero on screen, really, to speak of. So I could definitely see that of like he wants to get there first. I want to like be the pioneer setter. I want my name attached to the person that kicked this all off. And the character,
his name's attached to it, dude.
the character's just too much for what they had for technology. But the rest of the movie, sets and stuff, also just screams 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know what the 90s look like, go watch.
Oh my god,
Spawn.
the music too.
The music choices. The music choices made no sense to it.
But if you just said, "Hey,"
like for Spawn, I picture Spawn. You want like the Tim Burton Batman era music stuff. Like even the settings wouldn't be as bad if you had better music to them. Everything about it just screams 90s. Like I think wasn't like Static X on here or something.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't.
Well, think about it.
Fit.
CBR does this thing now, I think, where they post like 5 images, screen stills from movies, and you need to guess the movie. And so like they did this. They just did one of the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movies. It's one of them. But it'd be like if you took like clips from this movie and just posted it and say, okay, now guess the year it was made in. 100%. No one would get it wrong. It'd be like mid to late 90s. Yep, you're right.
Yep, nailed it.
There's no
setting just. It looks like oh my god, it looks like Blade that comes out after this, but still damn close. And it looks like oh my god, all of the vampire and werewolf and all of those movies of the 90s, Van Helsing, like all those movies, it's like they just went to the exact same spot to film them over and over again.
Mm-hmm. It's like, insane. So I don't know. We got to make this movie now. We got to make this movie now before everybody else does. And the funny thing is, it's like, maybe it is. Maybe it's like, if we don't make it now, we're never going to make it. Because guess what? It's been 20 years now, and we still don't have another. We
haven't had the new adaptation.
Which I don't understand.
I mean, Spawn started being on HBO. So it was getting into that mainstream line, So maybe they thought we have the push to make this movie, and like
Mhm.
everything was coming. Like the Sci-Fi Channel was playing lots of different stuff like
Yeah.
this. So I could see them thinking, and I don't know. They talked. So I've read some stuff about the upcoming Spawn movie that's been upcoming for like years now.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen. That one of the things Tom McFarlane said is to have more Spawn, we need less Spawn. And that was a big problem with this movie is you are constantly seeing Spawn,
You don't
where
see
in
Al
the
as much.
comics, Spawn is in the shadows. He's a cloak, he's a chain, he's green eyes going
Yeah.
out of the corner, all of that. This was like bright, here's Spawn all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
it's the
is
Jaws. We
not
just talked about the last movie we reviewed together.
yeah,
Is
the
Jaws?
perfect
It's
part of Jaws,
the
not seeing
yeah.
Jaws.
Is
The
the fear
terror of
behind
it.
Jaws? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And
need them and stuff like that. But like,
it's hard because it's your main character, but that would be a much better adaptation of Spawn is to see a lot less of him. Um, and having him constantly the main focal in this movie with the weird was that physical practical effect? Was that CGI? What the hell is he wearing? This wet, rubbery monster costume that's not it's just all of it.
but there's a lot. So there's this horror, this PG-13, which is the first another problem. Okay, so I think that this movie is
Yeah,
one of
this
those
is
movies
an
that needs to be
R-rated
R.
movie.
Um,
Spawn is R. They
the
don't make a
other
PG-13 one to try to get more. Family shouldn't be there. Why? What? Why are we trying to do this? Make
it's
an
a
R-rated
broader
movie.
audience.
Make
It's
a
a
horror
studio
movie
decision.
of Spawn.
It wasn't a director or a writer decision. It wasn't a Todd McFarlane decision. It was a studio-driven decision because they know that a PG-13 movie has a wider audience base, which means that you can get more money in. But
We
here,
try to start pulling those teenagers into the theaters and whatever.
we just
But
talked on the podcast for Horror Week about why people don't do horror movies more often. Like the budget for a horror movie is so small, and the return on your investment, like Black Phone right now, being in theater, Black Phone 2, Joe Hill's book adaptation, the sequel to the movie, is gangbusters, and it was made for like $15 million, and the movie's making like $100 million. Like the return on your investment is so much higher. This movie, Spawn, was made for nearly $45 million. Okay. I just watched over the weekend Stephen King's The Long Walk. Okay, the
yeah,
movie is definitely there's no special effects really. I mean, there is because they
right.
shoot people and stuff like that, but like there's no big cost in
And
studio.
there's no
But
CGI effects like we
no,
get here.
but I understand. But that this movie's 20 years made 20 years later, right? This Long
Yeah,
Walk movie was made for $20 million. So you're talking about this movie was made for half the budget that this movie was made. So The Long Walk, half the budget. 20 years later, which means that
after the fact.
probably is a $45 million budget. You know, like
Right,
what is $45 million in 1997 now?
right.
70, $80 million
Oh, it's got
for
to be
what
close
we
to that.
got is asinine. The movie did make $86 million in the theaters.
I was
So like,
surprised. So I went and read, I read about it after the fact, and I was really surprised to find out that it technically was a success. Like it made money.
well, in Hollywood, it's not. I mean, that's not a
It's not
success in
right, but I
Hollywood.
mean, it doubled its
It made
loss.
money, yes, supposedly.
And it because I guess I sort of expected. I don't know what else came out during its like release time and
I should
stuff.
look that up. Yeah,
What Harrison Ford movie Air Force One came out. I
yeah,
saw that. It was on there. It was competing with I think for week one, but maybe there wasn't a lot in theaters. I don't know. I would have fully expected this to be a bomb. I
yeah.
fully expected that I was going to go on and see that this movie cost $40 million and it made like 24 million. So the fact it doubled what it made is fairly impressive. Um,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. This movie just gets lost.
it
I
does.
really enjoy the clown. The rest of it, there's overall probably too many characters
Yeah.
and too much going
Well,
on in it
I guess
that
that was my point I was going to get to is that it's a hour and a half or so, 8 hour and 40 minute
yeah, it's a
movie
90-minute movie.
that has what like there's 300 and some now there's 300 and some odd issues of this comic, but at the time 5 years if you release an issue a month, that's 60 issues that this movie has to
Wow.
touch on, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Or
Because
not
those would have
all, but
that era of Spawn started having some of the like in the Spawn like in the number 80s or so starts having
yeah.
covers of this movie
And
being the
so
cover.
there's a lot that has to go into that in a sense. Like you're trying to cram a bunch in there. You're trying to have
Yeah.
a modern storyline, a modern of the
Wow, that's
time,
crazy to think of.
97 time
Yeah.
storyline that is more broader range because you need to pull in people who are just not comic book fans, not just comic book
Right.
fans, but also tell the story of how Al Simmons became Spawn, and you need to include Violator and Clown
You got
and
an
so on and so
origin
forth.
story.
A
You
lot
got
of this
villains. Yeah,
stuff.
you have this movie
I
has
keep
three to four villains in it.
well, just kind of
Like,
because Clown and Violator are the same villain.
well, you got Clown, you have Wynn,
Oh
you
yeah,
have Priest, who they
yep,
changed to a woman and whatever, but
yeah,
Priest, and then you have Malbolger himself.
yep.
That's a lot for 90 minutes.
And
That's a
that's what,
lot.
if you look back at a lot of critiques on superhero or comic book related movies, is that they put too much, like the bad ones, or they put too
Yeah.
much in it. They put too
Yeah, they
much
try
in
to
it instead of
stuff it in
boiling it
there
down.
because
Yeah.
they don't know if it'll ever happen again. This
Correct.
is our one chance.
This movie should have
Um,
had Spawn,
maybe
Clown,
stay
and
away from Hell
Violator.
altogether.
Yes, and it should have been one of those things in the second one where they introduced Malbolgia and things like that. The
Yeah,
person who talks to Spawn on Earth is Clown Violator. Like that could be or Clown and then
yeah.
eventually Violator.
It's the explanation of how he got here, what his purpose is, all that,
Or
and leave out any of him going to hell to fight
mhm.
Malbolger to get revenge or what have you for being sent back to Earth and tortured with all this. Just don't include all this. It's such an important part of the Spawn storyline, but let's leave that out because we only got 90 minutes to work with, folks.
or make it a TV show, which was super successful.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
What's
Folks,
in
you
here?
want to watch Spawn? You want to know what
What's,
Spawn is? Go watch the HBO series.
look at this.
The
It's awesome.
HBO animated
I didn't
series
realize that was
is
in there. That was in the
phenomenal.
packaging.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't know.
because yeah, you had to get your cross promotion.
But
I
this is
don't remember
obviously
which one I
phenomenal. If
watched
anybody's
first. If I
watching
watched,
this, that's the
oh,
little illustration by Bob Tactic that I made
hey,
down there on my Spawn
sick.
thing. But yeah, so it's actually kind of funny
And
that
once again, see just that art right there. You don't even see Spawn's face. It's just
no,
glowing
the glowing
eyes back
eyes.
there.
Yeah, which would have been
He's scary and
cheaper.
spooky and yeah.
But
I don't.
it's funny how I'm like, it's funny that I mentioned something's killing the children, and it was just off the top of my
Yeah.
head as a horror comic and something that's popular, and James Tynion is very popular, well done, well received. Is the comparisons of this? James is getting a something's killing the children feature film at the same
Yep.
time that he's getting an adult animated film or series
Yeah.
on Netflix. So like that's actually kind of funny, the relation in that I forgot that this actually the animated series was actually on HBO prior. It was a month or two prior to the feature
Yeah.
film release. And so it's actually kind of funny to think about that there's a possibility that like Something's Killing the Children movie and
Could fall
all at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's there's a comparison to that and how we might actually compare that. Like back then it might not have been compared as much, but now we might go, we're going to compare these two things. Which one's actually better? Which one has the, whatever, because they're going to tell the same story, hopefully. I mean, like there's no reason why
Right.
Something's Killing the Children unless they start like different time chronological, because obviously we're Something's Killing the
Yeah.
Children's jumped
Yeah.
around
I
a little
can't
bit, but
see. I wouldn't see any reason for something's killing to really
yeah.
change this plot line very much because
Yeah.
the comic writing is almost designed to be written as a show.
Yes.
And I can see this with Spawn that you got a
Well,
lot going on. You got a lot to try to cram in there. You have different things. Sam and Twitch are major characters of the comic series. These two
God, I
cops
love
that aren't
it.
in at all. That we could just have a Sam and Twitch show of following these two cops in New York trying to solve murder of what's going on here and the battle of heaven and hell taking place and they don't realize it. Which honestly, if they made that movie, would have been better to have watched than what we got of a Spawn movie.
You almost could have started with Sam and Twitch to introduce Spawn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like have Sam and Twitch be like a cop, like this horror cop, supernatural type of show that has like a first episode. Then all of a sudden I know where Spawn is like in the last episode, which then spawns off the movie. But the it almost feels like anything outside the big two featuring Spider-Man or Superman or Batman or whatever is any of these independent horror things. I would think that a lot of them would be better as a TV show than a movie. And that's mainly because they're designed to be episodic. Like the design, like I wouldn't say don't do issue 1 as episode 1 and so on and so forth. But as readers of comic books, we're designed, these are designed to us to read episodically. So you read an issue and you read the next issue. So
like
we're
cliffhanger, so you're
trying
to
to
that
take
next issue when it comes out. You got to keep it going.
They're written that way. So trying to take what you're expecting to see on screen from comics and then just smashing it all together and then having to go, well, we can't just smash it all together and introduce Spawn, we have to have some sort of reason why, or some sort of other reason to make this movie move forward. And that's where Wynn came involved and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And so they had this thing, but by doing that, it made it all jumbled and like confusing, and like the plot didn't really make any sense. And like why, all this, it's just, to me, it was like there's so much just in the idea of Spawn wanting to be with Wanda. That's all
Yeah.
you really needed. I don't even think he needed a
That's it.
villain to
It's
fight.
the tragic story that like he's in love with his wife and he's forever in love with his wife. And the only reason he even came back to Earth after death was to try
Mhm.
to get her back,
Mhm.
and not understanding that the devil was going to play with him and send him back, 5 years in the future from his death. He thought he was coming straight back from the time he died.
Mhm.
And all the stuff has changed. She's had to like move on with her life, and now she has a kid and all that. And in the comics, you have all this tragedy with it. He loves her, and then like he's gonna do anything he can to protect her. And he he really starts falling in love with Cyan, the daughter, as he's confused at first. Is this my daughter? Like they'd always
Yeah.
tried to have kids and couldn't, and then it's not his, but she he becomes her imaginary friend,
Yeah.
the sad man, which I also was sad in this movie. They don't call him the sad man. It's such a big part of Cyan there. The sad man's here, and Wanda's always confused as to what this is and why her daughter's imaginary friend's the sad man, and it's Spawn who was watching over her and keeping her safe.
Well, the
And
whole yeah,
Al's always there.
you mentioned the reason why he's here is for Wanda. Like the
Yeah,
reason why,
yeah.
and so in the movie they take Wanda and make her such a side B
She
storyline
is, and she has
character.
no. There's really no personality there. There's
No,
nothing to Wanda. You don't have any feeling for Wanda in
no.
this. She's just there. She's just the wife. And his best friend Terry, there's nothing there in their relationship of like, I can't believe you did this. And then Terry being like, Al, you always told me to take care of her. We found love, like all of that. All of the feeling of Spawn gets left out of this movie
Yeah,
in replacement of lots of action and bad CGI.
yeah.
That's like all
Well,
you
I
get.
I don't think they knew what they were doing. It
No.
sounds so like I'm on my high tower here, telling
Right.
as a non-filmmaker, but
Right.
in the same sense, I don't know if the people at the studio knew what they had. You know what I mean? I don't think they knew what the idea behind. And maybe they didn't. Maybe, I mean, did they see 350 issues? Probably not. Like they're probably not
Right.
sitting here going, "This is not gonna go forever. We just make this
Well,
film. We
here's
can
a
make a quick
question.
buck
Did,
on it."
did they read any of the issues?
And that's not like that's
Because
part of it. Because, but
and
what,
and
maybe
and
they
maybe
did. Maybe
and
they
maybe
read
some
issue
of it was their
one.
target audience.
Maybe they read issue one, and then we're
Right.
like,
They're like, all right, let's go.
let's
That's all we
go.
need.
Because I mean, think about it.
They read the ones that came with the action figures that were abridged even of that. They're like, okay, we get it.
But like, so like they
Um,
said, Violator and Spawn, sorry, Clown was a slightly different version, but I'm okay with that because when you go from comic to film, you have to do some things and you have to have some fun with things. And the writer was like,
I
maybe I make this guy a little bit more slapsticky, a little bit more
I loved him.
campy
Yep,
horror
I
thing
loved
with
him.
him
He's
eating the pizza
he's
with all the
humorous. He's funny. You get
and John Leguizamo
that side of it.
phenomenal as the actor. I mean, he might be the
Oh, he's
best
so
actor in this
good.
movie.
He's
I
so.
mean,
I feel so bad for him for the rest of this movie.
I do too, but you don't ever see him, so it's not like you have to. It's just his voice
Yeah,
basically
it's true.
because it's just his acting. He's more of the body humor type of it. We're moving around in the suit, and again, the practical effects of the clown, the practical effects, slightly practical effects. I believe it's some practical effects of Violator. There's like a head at least,
Yeah, there's
and
definitely
then
parts that looks more like a head. That's sort of like you can
yeah,
tell Muppet style. That
yes,
it's
but which I'm
but
okay
it
with.
does that honestly doesn't look bad.
No, and
That
so
doesn't
and
look
then there's a
nearly as bad
slight
as the
CGI
CGI
part.
parts.
Well, but the slight CGI part, the beginning of it, it's almost like they had a budget and okay, this is the CGI budget. And they did like, okay, we're gonna work on a Violator. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, they got to the end of the Violator and they're like, oh shit, we ran out of money. And then they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. There's a college student over there who's working with some CGI shit. He'll make
Hey
Malbosia
kid, you
in
want your name in
hell.
this movie?
Yeah, which is sad, Paul, because you knew who was one of the lead special effects person in this movie?
Who's that?
A guy named Spaz, who is one of the lead special effects people in Jurassic Park.
Oh, is
There's
that why
a
the dog's name Spaz?
there's a documentary about this guy called Jurassic Punk. And this guy is like literally was so good at doing CGI and things like that. Like all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park that are running in the distance, like when they're like in
Yeah,
the field, and that's all his
yeah.
work. And he wanted to prove to the studio that his work at ILM would be great. They don't need to do practical effects for the T-Rex. That when
Right.
they visited the studio where he was working, he made sure that his work that he did to show them this was on the screen as they walked in the room, so that he
Nice.
would be like, "What the heck is this?" And they'd still ultimately, which is the best decision they made, went with practical effects for most of the T-Rex. But a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff that CGI that goes around it is all him. And then you see that this is the other work that he did. To me, I'm like, I mean, he had obviously some drinking problems, some drug problems too. So maybe that's you got the, you're like, oh, this is just Spawn. Oh, it's not Jurassic Park. But
Yeah, I'm
like
not worried about it.
they came
I'm gonna
out
put my
roughly around
best
the
effort
same
in.
time, Paul.
Yeah. What, 3, 4 years apart, maybe? Something like that.
Before, right? Because technically Jurassic Park was early '90s, right?
Yeah, Jurassic Park was really nice. Yeah.
So
So
it was
that was
first. This is what we
yeah,
get
the
after.
Jurassic Park came first. So it's sort of insane in a few years' time, and then it got so much worse because this
This
is
is what we
just
got after Jurassic Park.
yeah, I feel like I really enjoy the clown. I like his comedy side of it. I like him tormenting Spawn
Hmm.
constantly. And honestly, when I watch this movie and when friends and I rewatch this movie as teenagers, we watched it for clown
Hmm.
because the rest of it is just isn't there. I don't you
Well, I
don't
think,
have any feeling to Al Simmons at all. You don't have any
yeah.
feeling to Spawn. You don't really care. I don't really care about Jason Wynn being evil, like whatever. Yeah, he's terrible, but in the
I'm
comic
also,
series and in the animated Spawn series, you really despise Jason Wynn.
yeah.
And in this, you just don't really care.
Yep.
Like
It's
none of
it.
it. I don't care about Wanda. Like there's nothing in this movie besides a pile of special effects and like shooting is all you get. It's like the whole thing. You get
It's an
away from the whole
action
like torture
movie.
Spawn of like he wants to help when he's on Earth, but if he kills bad guys, he's sending him to hell, which is what he's supposed to be on
Yeah.
Earth for. So which one does he do? Like you
It's
don't get any of this. He's just
no.
out there blasting shit left and right, and
Well, that's the confusion a lot of people have about this whole movie. Like they don't know what it is. I mean, none of us know what it is. Is it a superhero
oh,
movie? Is it a horror movie? Is it an action film? Like there's all this stuff. I was like, you can
I
have the
honestly
mixture of
think
the
it.
two of them, but like I don't think that works
Yeah,
together.
it's super action with very light parts of horror dipped
Yeah.
into it,
Hmm.
and the horror scenes and the stuff with the clown's horror is by far the best parts.
Hmm.
Like I would almost just take that and watch a 20-minute to half hour piece of it and watch
Just
that and just leave the rest of the movie out.
and his jokes, and I mean, honestly, it was corny and campy, but his fart that you could see the green, like
Yeah,
all of
I
that was
saw that. I
to
was
me
like,
was funny, and like the dad jokes of style that he was telling and stuff like that. Like to me, it was like, what is scarier? A creepy clown who's always creepy, or a creepy clown that also just like takes light of everything. Like, dude, you're
right.
scary as hell, and you're really dangerous to me, but you're also joking, which makes me take like make you're trying to like take this not seriously, but you could just obliterate me. It's like
Yeah.
that's
And
scary as hell. So like
that's the
that part
terrifying
is
part of clown. He's this short,
frightening.
fat, you don't take him serious entity. And then he's actually this demon and the when he transforms into the Violator and he's massive.
It's and
And
in Violator, those two characters are they're my one of my favorite villains in comics. Like they're like
yeah,
to me because I just think that they're well designed. Again, artwork part of Spawn is the best part of Spawn. The creepiness of them, the long jaw Violator, the short fat like creepiness, the shirt that doesn't fit all the way,
yep.
dirty, stubby fingered,
Oh
version
yeah.
of
And I
clown.
love the background of him in the comics.
Mm.
And I think it was done in the animated series too, where you found out he was good looking on Earth,
Yeah,
and then he was just screwing around constantly and like chasing women and whatever. So as punishment, like Mal Bolger sent him back to Earth as this clown. Like that's what he
I
gets
mean,
stuck with. That's his
so
punishment.
I just finished The Long Walk, like I mentioned over the weekend, which was a phenomenal movie. If anybody wants to watch it, it's really good. But I thought to myself, like, okay, they did financially well. Comparative to it's a $20 million movie made like $50 million.
Yeah.
It's not it didn't lose money. It's based on a Stephen King property. So is there a possibility for like a Long Walk 2? Is there a Long Jog? No. Is I would love to see
That's
because
my horror right there.
there's parts of it being is a horror version of Hunger Games in the sense where like there's a competition for a big prize at the end that people do and people
Right.
die along the way, and so there's that similarity in that I would love to see the prequel of this, where it's like how did they get to the point where the Long Walk started to exist. And so, but that's based on like a bare. I read the book and read this. There's not much lore behind this story except for the book and the movie. There's so much in Spawn. But if I had just watched the Spawn movie in 1997, that's all I got from. Like, I didn't read the comics, and I don't read the comics now.
Yeah.
I'd want to know the origin more on Clown Violator than I would on Spawn. Like the way that movie was portrayed, like it's like I don't need to know about this creepy guy in like what seemed like a burned face suit, but it was like obviously a suit that you're wearing. That when you turn, you can see the rubberness of the suit going on. Like not saying Jai White was bad actor. He didn't pull me in as much as the side characters.
He didn't pull me in at all. Yeah.
Like I like Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen's phenomenal on West Wing. Like he's a great actor, and I think that was kind of cool that if you think about the characters they have in this movie between White, Leguizamo, and Sheen in this movie, like those are some big people to have in this movie.
Yeah.
Is that Leguizamo, which was the least of those people, was the best out of all of them, and I would have cared more about what happened, how Clown got than I would anything else.
Yeah, if I was going to go read this based on this, I'd probably go find that Spawn Violator miniseries, a little fun that's about Violator. Because from this, I would not run out to buy Spawn comics.
No.
Like, that should have also been your hook in was like, okay, now we're going to get people reading more Spawn. And you go see this movie, and I don't see anybody being like, oh, you got to have more of this.
I'm sure that the movie didn't help the animated series that well either.
No,
luckily it came out first.
Because the animated series ended on a cliffhanger because it didn't get picked back up by HBO, which sucks because it was so fantastic and it may have killed that. People started watching this and was like, "Yeah, I think I've had enough of this plot."
Also, this is one of John Leguizamo's better films, right, in his history. But however, I will say there's two that are better. The whole film is better than this. The Pest, which came out earlier in '97, was phenomenal. And then he was in a movie with Happy Hogan. What's his name?
John.
Yes.
Yep.
He directed directed Iron Man.
Yep.
It's called Chef. And he's the actor.
I love Chef. Yeah, so good.
And he's great in that movie too. So yeah.
I forgot he was in that. That's right.
Yeah. He's a buddy, the sous chef. He's a sous chef that helps him out.
Sidekick in there, sous chef for it. Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So
we talked about special effects that they're horrendous most of the time. There's practical effects. I would say 75% of the practical effects were really good. I think a little bit higher because I do think that the clown itself was like phenomenal.
So good. It was Clown definitely itself's practical effects were all much better than Spawn's practical effects.
Yes, it was definitely a 1990s movie. In the overall, outside of John Leguizamo, acting was not good. I don't think that there was very much acting that was good in this thing at all.
No.
I think that there's some corny lines. One of my favorite corny lines from the entire movie was one of those like, I'm going to give you a one-liner that's going to be really, really corny and like a dad joke like kind of thing. We're going to put it in this movie is where you're going every day is Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, wait, someone wrote that line into a movie? That's like one of those like you're telling jokes back and forth and your buddy can't think of anything and he's just like, your mom. And you're just like, wait, what? That line to me was like, where you're going every day. Yeah, where you're going every day is Halloween. And I'm like, wait, what? That's that okay.
That makes hell sound sort of enjoyable.
Yes. Oh, they're trick or treating every night.
Are there Snickers there? I want to go.
It would have been. I'm a fan of candy corn, but it would have been better. Where you're going every day, you have to eat candy corn.
That's terror right there. Yeah.
But it's just funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, and that's like in this movie. This is a feature film, and I'm just like, I don't know. It does relate in a sense. Best you got.
Yeah.
This is the film adaptation.
It's so funny because the comics. I mean, the start. I get maybe that's the problem. Maybe they read the first like 15 issues of Spawn because the beginning of Spawn's kind of corny.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they read it and based the movie off of that.
Well, I want to know also, like I have friends now, or friends of the podcast, people we've talked to on the podcast who have made films. I've talked to Adam Caesar about his film being adapted from Clown in the Cornfield and so on and so forth. And I've talked to other people, Daniel Krauss and all who have these movies making. Some of them are actually physically working on these movies. Adam Caesar, for an example, sold his film rights to the studio, and they made his film. They invited him to set, and he actually was an extra and things like that. But he wasn't like sitting there going, oh, we should be doing this and we should be doing that. Like he was,
Right.
most of the people I talked to who sold their film rights are open and willing that if I get a phone call from the studio or the writer or whatever and say, hey, we're thinking about doing this, what is your thoughts on it? That they'd give their input on it. No extra charge, it just, it wants the best adaptation of their stuff. My question is, what do you think? I mean, do you think Todd McFarlane was even like close to being like, hey, let's talk to Todd on this thing? And then, or do they think it was just like, well, we know better? I mean, they made a Captain America movie in the 90s that or the 70s that was Captain America was a lawyer. So they do take their liberties on these things when they buy the properties and they just Spawn is
I don't
popular.
know. And I guess for what I've read about the upcoming never has happened or probably gonna happen Spawn movie now, was that one of the things that slowed down production so much is Spawn is Todd is like right in it all the time. And he like wants to control everything. And I think some of that, if that's true, comes off of maybe how this turned out.
Yeah, it's fear of it happening again.
Maybe he let it go more and it didn't have as much in it. I don't know. I really don't. It makes you wonder, like, when this came out, was it exciting to see your creation on screen, or was there a piece of him that was like, wow, this is not what I intended?
So there are highlights, there are negatives. One of the big highlights I will say, we mentioned it just quickly, and I was touch on it again, is the main superhero, if you want to call him a superhero or whatever you want to call him, the protagonist in that Spawn, which is still again weird because he's also from hell, basically. I mean, he's gone to hell back. Is that he's black. And that was huge at the time. I think that was a big thing, and it's also huge in my opinion. It's written a black character that Todd McFarlane, as a white person, decided to make a black character, makes Al Simmons black, which was awesome. I think it's a great thing to do. However, it was weird to see them go, cool, black protagonist, this is amazing. But his best friend in the comic book is black, and they made him white in the movie, which was a weird decision. Like, okay, so like it's like almost like you're like, okay, we got our black guy. What's the rest of the characters gonna be white?
I read a little bit about that too, and that like they did it because they were afraid that then only African Americans were going to go to the theaters to see it.
I see that,
They're like, oh, if we have it, like people are going to think that this is like only designed for black people to see. So they changed it to a white person. The white actor. I felt like his role in the movie was so blah that it really didn't matter who the hell played him.
Well, maybe it's just
like,
their sign of saying
cardboard cutout for him. Like he was not interesting at all. Terry was just there.
Maybe there's their way of saying
hooking up with Wanda. And
yes, I said maybe there's way of saying that, like, oh, when the black main character dies, the white dude is the one that comes in here and tries to steal the girlfriend. Maybe that's what they were trying to say, is the white man doing the horrible act of not waiting for the grave to be cool before you sleep with his your best friend.
I was gonna say it couldn't have been too long because the kid's about the same age as he was gone for.
And I love the mentality sometimes of like, oh, I'm glad it's my friend. Taking care of my wife and things like that. And it's like, wait, no, like that. If that person was that quick to move in, they were thinking about it all along. This is not one of those things where like, oh, I want to be there for my.
And he works for the agency that sent Al to die. Like, wait a minute, hold on here. I think I saw this on Dateline.
Yep.
He waited in the wind until he got word that, oh, my friend died. Then he showed up with flowers and was like, don't worry, I got this.
I don't know. That's like I said, the series itself is phenomenal, and I think that Spawn as a character, the name Spawn, was phenomenal. The other thing I didn't appreciate that much either is that like
they call him
you
Spawn
have an iconic. The logo in the comic book is an iconic logo from years and years and years, and neither the animated series or the feature film decided to use that logo as their logo, even a variation of that logo. I guess the animated series is a little bit more of that like. Pointiness.
The image series is much closer,
the movie was like this weird thing, and I think that even the cover, you look, creepy, because the initial poster, where it's like half of Spawn's face, that was like, okay, that's cool. We're gonna see that whole like in the shadows thing, and we didn't. We see front and center with this creepy, like really bad CGI cape. Oh my god, that was like, it was just like
CGI cape is so bad.
It's like a head.
So
it's like someone
and the
really
way the mask like
his
weirdly like points together on his face every time. Like, just didn't look right at all.
So I think it was originally designed to be an R-rated film, and they toned it down to PG-13. Again, I think there was just some bad decisions made, and I think that's what happened. Why Development Hell? There was supposed to be a sequel that, again, got in Development Hell, and then now it was Jamie Foxx has been attached to playing Spawn for,
Cannot
27
see
years
Jamie
now. I think
Foxx as Spawn.
Jamie Foxx has been rumored to play Al Simmons before the first movie came out. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
It's been so long, it feels
Right.
like that.
What it feels like, yeah.
And it's one of those things that I feel like at this point, it's almost like the best thing for Spawn is to find that person over the past 30 years or 20 years, almost 25 years,
Yeah.
to who loves Spawn, who's written Spawn for you, who has a passion for Spawn, and have Todd McFarlane be like, here, make me a Spawn movie. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, we need the new kind of origin stories of Spawn, which is quick cutscenes saying this is how Spawn became Spawn. And then
Yeah.
let's tell the story of the rest of the stuff. Like, or an entire movie that's just like a slower version of the origin story of Spawn, and not just a quick thing and then
Yeah, I take an
gunfights
origin
and
story of Spawn that had a slow build and burn to it and develop characters that we cared about and this and that. A hell of a lot more than like we crammed Spawn origin story into probably the hour or so,
yeah.
and then we had a half hour of just bad action wrap up to it.
But what
Like,
if we just went to the spin-offs, Paul? What if it was a medieval
we got
Spawn?
no character. Like, there was no character development in this movie at all.
No.
Any
None. Nope.
None. They were just there.
Again, I just watched the Violator and Spawn clown scenes over and over again. It's just fine.
Yep. Yep.
But maybe it's medieval Spawn. Maybe it's maybe it's one of these other Spawns we get a movie of that just
Oh,
like
I think a
don't even
medieval
touch
Spawn.
it. Just
Oh,
just
yeah.
do a medieval Spawn one. Just do a different version of what we have going on right now. Like do a different Spawn.
I would take a
Um,
Sam and Twitch series
I would
that doesn't really have Spawn in it.
on HBO.
Yep.
Honestly, and have it be a detective story, but have it have some supernatural elements to it. Not as much as the show's supernatural, but like have it be that
Right.
way and have it be
Well, because Spawn
honestly.
has Spawn starts digging into that stuff.
Yeah.
You have like werewolves and vampires and things that run around because they're all some form of connection to hell
Yep.
on Earth. So have that. Have Spawn.
But you have kind of that
Have
thing.
Sam
If you
and
think about it, Sam
investigating
and Twitch, Spawn, and Clown, it seems like Gordon, Batman,
Yeah.
and Joker.
Yeah.
Weird,
Hmm.
but creepier.
Interesting.
Which is really hard, but darker, which is really hard to do because DC is pretty fucking dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
They
no.
just crossed the final line from the DC side of being like, and he is in hell,
Yeah,
and he does brutally kill everybody and their brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I will continue to be a fan of Spawn over the years. I will hold a small love for this film over the years. But there is and maybe it's because it's Spawn and it's one of my original comics I ever was really loved
Right.
the look to and holding on to and owning and being there was Spawn, and so maybe that's why it is. And then obviously John Leguizamo's Clown is phenomenal.
It's so good.
And
He's
so
good.
just the Spawn. The idea that it's Spawn,
Yep.
just the fact that it's Violator, the parts of Violator were amazing, and the Clown were amazing.
Okay.
1.5 stars, which is probably higher than you're
Okay.
gonna go.
So honestly, that's lower than I thought you were gonna say.
Really?
I was gonna go 2 stars.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna go 2 stars.
The thing is, if
One
I
and a
didn't have a
probably
half
more
star,
fair.
if we didn't have half stars, I would go 2 stars. I wouldn't go down. So there's
Right.
that.
Yeah. I think 1.5 stars is probably more fair and more accurate for this movie. I don't foresee me ever telling somebody they've got to go watch this.
No.
Really.
No.
Even if
And it's
they're a
not-
Spawn fan, if somebody comes in, they've been buying Spawn since 300 and they're reading Spawn and they've started getting back issues of it, I'm not gonna be like, you know, they made a movie in '97 you got to watch. Meanwhile, somebody's like, oh, I love Batman and I just started really getting into Batman. I'll be like, well, you got to go watch '89 Batman.
Yeah. No. Yes. Watch
This
the 3
is
seasons
not-
of Spawn on HBO. That's
Yeah,
what
go
you
watch 3 seasons. That's exactly what I tell people. If you want to see what Spawn is, go watch the HBO series. Don't watch this.
So
Ugh.
that makes sense. So here's the deal.
Spawn on a motorcycle for some reason. The motorcycle scene that was just because motorcycle scene. Just it's just we got it all. It's all there.
It's a movie that's made, and I hope that one day we do get another Spawn because I do want to see something that take what there
Take
was
good
there
Spawn.
and make a good version of it. Like the Running Man from Stephen King's coming out. Schwarzenegger's film was like kind of a weird adaptation, so they're trying to make the real one. And I'm hoping that maybe it's the next step for this thing, and maybe Spawn. There is a studio who wants to buy it and says, we'll buy the film rights, but Todd, you can't be involved in it. Funny quick thing while we finish up because you got to open the store is when Nova was born and he'd wake up in the middle of the night for his bottle. I needed to watch something on TV, and I sat down and I watched the Spawn animated series on HBO, and I'm like, maybe that's why he has nightmares now. But no,
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing says feeding the baby at midnight like watching Spawn
I'm like,
animated.
this kid doesn't know what he's doing. My wife's not gonna watch this with me. I might as well watch it in the middle of the
Might
night.
as well.
Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, Spawn
I was just
released.
watching hockey games.
There you go, yeah.
Like-
Released in 1997, 1.5 to 2 stars from here at Capes and Tights Podcast. Paul, thank you
1.5 's
so
probably
much.
A lot more fair.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
more
1.5.
likely.
Yeah, 1.5.
Paul, thank you so much for taking your time out to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
547 Hammond Street in Bangor, Maine. Galactic Comics and Collectibles.com. Find you on social
Oh my
media.
God, it's live. There's stuff
It is
on
live
it.
now. I did notice
You
that.
can buy almost every one of our trade paperbacks is in stock on the website. I'm starting getting a couple toys up on the website. We're still kind of figuring out what toys are going to be best suited to put on there.
Yeah.
And there's a graded section. We're going to start getting graded comics up there. So all the cool slabs and stuff you see will be on the website. Holy shnikes. We're like a real place.
That's amazing. It's so amazing. And I'll see you this week at some point.
I'll be here doing stuff. I don't know.
I feel like the last time I
Probably
saw you,
buying
we
comic
recorded.
books.
It was digital. It wasn't even like a real person. No, I saw you since then. But yeah, so get the store open and tell your coworker there to back you in the back room because you didn't do a good job doing that. And then
Yeah, get on it. What the hell, man?
But yeah, as always, is amazing. Spawn.
So
Is that
there's
our
90
rating now?
minutes you'll never get back, folks.
We're gonna stop doing ratings of stars. We're just gonna start being like, yay or
Oh. Yeah,
Thanks,
this was
Paul.
an
Have fun.